What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about something a little bit different, but it's about being ready. It's about rising to the occasion or trying to jump into something new and trying to figure out if you are ready or not for that brand new task. And I think simply is you are, and this is going to be a little controversial, always ready, right? Because I think when you have to do a brand new thing, maybe even just say it's a regular task, it's a new test, it's something that you are putting off because you aren't ready right now, right? I don't think there's ever a time that we're ready to have kids, right? I don't think there's ever a time we're ready to start kindergarten. I don't think there's ever a time we are ready to go out and put in effort into working really hard or starting a brand new sport or going D1 or starting college or getting our first job. I don't think there's ever a time that we feel incredibly ready. I think that it's something that takes time to build, and until you really just kind of jump into it and go, I'm going to do this, you're never really going to feel ready. So how do we actually just go from I'm not ready to, number one, changing the mindset to I don't know, I'm just going to figure this out and I'm going to do the best that I can? And how am I going to properly prepare to be as close to ready as possible? Now, one study that I found that seems to be super significant that has helped me is that you're usually feeling not ready because you're just kind of in a cycle. And the best way to break that cycle of I'm not ready, I don't want to do this, I'm not going to jump into this thing, is going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start. And there's not always going to be a perfect road or path to go down. It's not always going to be super easy and clean. I think the way that we have to do that is we go, what is the first step, right? What is the first thing that we can do to get started? Maybe it's a giant project. So maybe it's an essay if we go a little bit more specific. So what can we do? Well, simply we can just go, if it's an essay, I gotta pull up Word document. I gotta look at the prompt and figure out what is my first paragraph going to be about. And if you don't know that, maybe it's your second paragraph or your third paragraph or whatever element of doing that thing that we can get started with. And we'll start small. Don't worry about writing a 1,000-word essay or a 10-page, whatever, if you went to school and were educated, whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter. Because the thing is, it starts with one letter, one word, one sentence, one paragraph at a time. We don't want to overcomplicate things and make them seem a lot more difficult than they really are. So the best method is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and figuring out what is the first thing we need to do. Maybe it's putting a heading on a paper. Maybe it's filling out that job application to start our first job. Maybe it's preparing to find the best university for us to go to. Maybe it could be an assortment of things, but it has to be a mindset change of, number one, I'm never going to be ready for anything in life. I'm just going to do it and figure it out as I go. And that's the thing. You are not different from me, and I am not different from them. There's going to be little element changes, but not to say that somebody is a professional athlete because they were born a professional athlete, right? And how many people have you maybe seen in your life where you're like, yo, this person could be a professional if they wanted to, whether it's sports or something else. Maybe somebody's super fast at typing, right? Maybe could be the fastest typer in the world, but they just work in your office because either one, they don't care, or two, they never wanted to feel the stress of doing something that they haven't done before. So instead of doing that, they do what they want to do, right? Or they do what's comfortable. But were they even ready for that? So the point is, there is professional athletes out there that are really, really good at doing something. There's also regular people that might be just as good if they put in the same time, the same energy. Maybe they have a little bit more talent, maybe they have this or that, and they could have built upon something significantly more. But they never took the opportunity to jump into anything, so they never were able to find out what could have been and what may have been if they would have just worked their butt off to get there. So don't let anything say that you can't just jump into it. Do what you want to do. Understand that it's going to be hard. Understand that the path might not be completely straight and clean. You might have to step over a fallen tree. You might have to cross a river. You might have to go across a bunch of rocks or through the mud or whatever, with the understanding that I'm here and I want to get here, and I don't exactly know how to get to the end, but I have an idea of what the end looks like, and that's what I'm going to try and crawl to. Maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe things don't go the way you want, but it's a learning experience that you can still grow from. So remember, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're able to do whatever you want to do. Shrink the task down a little bit. What is the first step? What is the first thing that you have to accomplish? When you look at that whole to-do list of the day, this was something I ran into today where I was like, fuck, I can't. I have so much to do. I'm never going to get all this done. What is task number 1? What is the first thing on the list? Let's just do that. What's the second thing? Let's just do that. Don't look at everything. Just look one thing at a time. Knock that out. All right. I hope that helps.